Hello, I'm Catherine. Welcome to 6 Minute English, where we engage in some lively debate and discuss stimulating items of vocabulary. And let's start. Here's your Here's your cup of coffee, Rob. Thanks, but what took you so long, Catherine? Oh, sorry, Rob. I bumped into somebody I knew in the cafe and I stopped for a chat. Okay, well, that's it. Well, with today's show, where we are talking about coffee or coffee houses. Did you know, Catherine, that coffee houses were originally a meeting place for lively debate and intellectual discussion? Really, I don't know that, Rob. A debate, by the way, means a discussion that a lot of people take part in. So, how long ago was this debating society? The first coffee house was set up in Oxford in 1650, but they quickly became popular and soon they were over the London too. You paid a penny to get in, and this included access to newspapers and stimulating conversation. If something is stimulating, it encourages ideas and enthusiasm. I, I expect to the coffee headquarters that he did it. It certainly helps me first thing in the morning, which brings me on today's question, Rob. How many cups of coffee do we consume in coffee shops or stores in UK every year? By the way, is another word for eat or drink. It is A 2.3 million, B 23 million, or C 23 billion. Oh, I don't know, but it's got to be a lot, so I'm going to go for C, 23 billion. That sounds like a lot of coffee, but I buy several cups a week, and I expect you do too, Catherine. I do indeed, but I have to say, while I was getting our coffees earlier, there was nobody else in the cafe talking except me and my friend. Everybody was sitting on their own, tapping away on their laptops. Let's listen now to Dr. Fraser, BBC Scotland Business and Economy editor, describing the life or atmosphere in a typical 21st century cafe. 10 or so in the morning, the cafe has 5 people at the tables with their pipes on the wall, each staring into a screen plugged in ears plugged. The flow, the flow of the pipes through this coffee shop's free Wi-Fi is transporting these customers to diverse destinations far from the person beside them. Collaborative working, a research grant application, a potential blockbuster novel, and inevitably someone distracted by kitchen pictures on social media. So the private of those 17th century coffee houses has disappeared then. No more lively debate and intellectual discussion. It seems so rough. As Dr. Fraser says, many people sit alone, plugged into their laptops, and they are all doing different things: cooking, writing, messing about on social media. I think the cafe owners should turn off the free Wi-Fi and force these cafe squatters to move on. I don't think people should be allowed to sit all day using the internet, hogging tables and not talking to anybody, especially when some of them don't even buy a coffee. That's a bit extreme, Rob. Coffee owners need customers and they encourage people to say by having comfy sofas and newspaper to read and free Wi-Fi. A squatter, by the way, is someone who lives in an empty building without paying rent. And if you hog something, you use most or all of it in a selfish way. I suppose you're right. Now, how about telling us answer today's question then? I asked, how many cups of coffee do we consume in cafes or stores in UK every year? It is A 2.3 million, B 23 billion, and C 23 billion. I could sit in a cafe and use their free Wi-Fi to recharge the answer, but I had a guess and said 23 billion. Well, you didn't need that free Wi-Fi, Rob, because you were absolutely right. 23 billion coffees per year works out on average as 45 cups per adult in the UK. Okay, I think it's time to be looked back at the words we learned today. Our first was a debate, a discussion that a lot of people take part in. For example, I took part in a number of stimulating debates at school. Number two, if someone is stimulating, it encourages new ideas and enthusiasm. For example, it's hard to have a stimulating conversation with someone who's looked at their phone all the time. That's true. Let me just slide my phone into my pocket there. Our next word is consume, another word is for eating or drinking, but it can also mean to use. For example, my car consumes a lot of petrol. Oh, how do I calculate my car's perfume consumption? So consumption there is a noun. Number four is vibe, which means the mood or atmosphere in a place. For example, Oxford is a city but it has a small town vibe. I'm getting bad vibes from our next word, which is squatter. That's someone who lives in an empty building without paying rent. The building is called squat. For example, I lived in a squat for 2 years. Really? You squatted in squat, Rob? No, it was just an example. I'm not squatter. Oh, you never squatted? No, I haven't. Look, we are wasting time here. We need to move on our final word, hog. If you hog something, you use all or most of it into selfish way. For example, Rob, you've hogged the only coffee, coffee chair that is so selfish. I admit it, Catherine. I'm a chair hog. That's a noun. Okay, before we head off for another cup of coffee, please remember to check out our Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube pages. Bye.